Hi there again. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Storytime Corner mystery series. And I believe we're on the 7th part of our series. Let's go. Bev Ashby was so distracted by the size of the crowd gathered on the sidewalk that at first she didn't hear the concierge shouting at her. "They're up there!" He was bent over the driver's door, yelling red-faced at the closed window and gesticulating wildly at the building across the sidewalk. "4th floor! But you have to walk, 'cause the elevator's been down since yesterday." It wasn't until several hours later that Bev ruefully acknowledged yet again that maybe it's true what they say about cops. They just stick out. For the life of her, she had no idea how the concierge had identified her, first as a police officer and second as the detective sent to investigate the incident. She was dressed in civvies, the car was unmarked, and she had used neither siren nor light. And there were several other cars at the curb that were clearly sent there by a police dispatcher. Yet, the concierge had run out the revolving doors of Whitby Towers directly to her. "Your uniformed people are up there! 2 of them!" Bev had her window rolled down, but now he was yelling even louder. "And the chauffeur that saw him do it!" His shouting increased the size of the crowd and drew their attention away from the incident that was entertaining them in the middle of the busy downtown street. A noontime fender bender had developed into a slugfest between the 2 drivers involved. Both were now draped over the hoods of their respective cars in handcuffs. Bev had to push the concierge back to get out of the car. He was still waving his arms and sputtering. "I'm the one that called 911, he said into her face. "The chauffeur saw him doing it from down here on the street, hanging himself, yelled at me to call, and then ran for the stairs." The young man wasn't shouting anymore, but he was still wound up enough to draw even more of the crowd toward them. Bev took him by the arm and forced her way through the gawkers toward the doors of Whitby Towers. "Shouldn't this be your job?" she said over her shoulder. "I mean, you're the one supposed to be breaking trail, aren't you?" "Yes, oh my God. Look, I'm sorry. This is only my 2nd day, and I've never called 911 before, and Bev pushed through to the revolving doors with the concierge in tow. Once inside, the plush quietness of the lobby calmed him with dramatic suddenness. "4th floor, the concierge said with professional detachment. "Number 411. The stairs are over there behind that pillar. We're very sorry about the elevator problem." Bev nodded. "I'll be back down in a while to talk to you. Just don't leave, please." By the time she reached the 4th floor, she was puffing a bit. She wondered how the occupants of Whitby Towers were tolerating a 2-day elevator failure. It was an expensive building, and even though Towers was an enormously pretentious title, the place had only 6 floors, a lot of money was needed for the rent here. Suite 411 was easy enough to find, for a uniformed officer was standing in the hallway outside the door. He tipped his cap with his index finger as Bev approached. "Body's inside, Lieutenant. We have not cut him down. We've only been here." He looked at his watch. 17 minutes now. "Chauffeur's in there with my partner." He held the door open for Bev so she could see the entire tableau before taking a step. Suite 411 was a luxuriously appointed studio apartment. What marred the sight of the deep pile rug and the highly polished reproduction furniture was the body of a silver-haired man in excellent trim, hanging from a thin nylon rope, an overturned chair at his lifeless feet. His name is... The patrolman started to speak, but Bev cut him off with a shake of her head. Twice she walked slowly around the body, and then expanded the circle to walk around the room. Everything was in perfect order, as one would expect at Whitby Towers. Well, not quite everything. The telephone wire was cut. Actually, not cut. Torn. That had taken strength. There was something else, too. Bev bent over in front of the balcony doors. What was it on the floor there? One end of a shoelace? No. Nylon rope. Looked like the same stuff that was around the dead man's neck. With a pen, she spread the drapes just enough to follow the rope to about knee level, where the other end was clamped between the doors. Nodding to herself, Bev looked up at the uniformed officer. "Now you can tell me his name," she said to him. On second thought, she turned to the chauffeur. "You go first. Let's start with your name." "Stanford Verity." No hesitation. He responded as though he'd anticipated her question. And he didn't talk the way Bev thought a chauffeur might. But then, she had to admit, she didn't really know any chauffeurs. Maybe they all talk this way. "What happened is very simple." He continued as though he were in charge. "My firm is Brock Livery Service. We pick up Mr. Seneca every day. That's his name. Oddly Seneca. At 11:50, and take him to wherever he directs. It's a standing daily order. Yesterday and today, I came up here to his suite because of the elevator situation, instead of meeting him in the lobby. You see, he has a prosthesis. An artificial leg, actually. And the stairs are somewhat of a problem for him. This morning when I arrived, I happened to look up. Thought maybe he might be watching that altercation on the street. That's when I saw him on the chair there, the rope around his neck. Of course, I ran as fast as I could, told the concierge to call 911, but I got here too late. The door was locked. What I should have done, I realize now, was get the concierge to come with me, with a master key. But then, after a crisis is over, one always thinks of things one should have done." "Agreed, Mr. Verity," Bev said, and turned to the uniformed officer. "Would you go down to the lobby," she said, "and bring the concierge up here? There's quite a big hole in the story of Mr. Seneca's alleged suicide." Now here's the mystery challenge question. What is the big hole to which Bev Ashby refers to? Another mystery short story and another mystery challenge question. I hope you enjoyed this short story, and if you figured out the answer, put that answer into the comment section below. And if you have not figured out the mystery challenge question, it doesn't matter. I just hope you've had fun. Till next time,